whenever you're ready. Everything's all set up.
Do you see my soundtrack on there? Both soundtracks on? No, on the top, on the receiver bit, when you have to check the sound.
Yes, your sound is on, and mine is.
Mahārāj Prabhu just pulled up. Great. Mahārāj Prabhu just pulled up, so we're going to start. एक बार उसको जब मैं बैठ जाऊं तो उसको स्पॉट फोकस कर देना.
Get a note from my son, he's 80.
Mahārāj Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Happy to see you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Glad to be here.
So when I got that message, I was like, if he needs, then I can go, because she was setting up at that time.
My son came with his...
Okay. Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah.
Jai Gurudev.
Better than the freeway.
Hare Krishna.
And I think it's time to buy new tires.
Careful.
You get some water or something, just...
Yeah, take it, then you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, please. On Facebook, did you put a little blurb?
Mm-hmm.
Take it, then we can begin. Should we begin? Are we live?
We are live.
Spot focus कर देना.
Yes.
Bandeyam Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Satha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sacha Om Ajnanatimirān Hasya Jnanandana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Guru Bhishta Sapurakam Guru Ganera Shisha Sambhushitam Chinta Chinta Samasta Vedanipunam Shri Rupa Panthanugam Govinda Abhidam Ujjalam Bhartanam Bhakti-anvitam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Cha Divya Bhagavat Premno Vijbradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandravadanam Balarkachelanchitam Sandranandapuram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyambudim Shri Siddhantanidhim Suvaktilasitam Sarasatanam Maram Vandetam Shubhadam Madeka Sharanam Nasiswaram Srīdharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Ti Vidito Gauriya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhat Vigane Gaura Sankirtanai Mayavadati Mingilo Daragatan Dhritti Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdigan Subham Pradat Prabhum Tam Bhaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavadhuta Murtaye Gaurangri Padma Vrangaya Radha Bhav Sevine Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Surupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasasdanidhim Gaura Vrajajita Sheshair Vaishnaveir Vanda Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdhim Vriddha Vaishnavam Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam bhaktarupa sarupakam bhaktavataram bhaktakyam namami bhakta shaktikam Namo Mahavadanaye Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tuse Namaha Jayatam Surtau Pangor Mamaman Matergati Mat Sarvasya Padam Bhojao Radha Madan Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadramada Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanastau Shri Gandharva Shri Govinda Devo Preshthalavi Sevamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambhi Vamshivata Tatastita Karshana Vinusaner Gopi Gopinath Sriyastuna Vrindaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Kesavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sattvattaya Namo Namaha Athnatva Mantra Gurun Gurun Bhagavatarthadan Vyasan Jagat Gurun Natva Tatho Jayam Mudire Jaya Parikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Govinda Sundar Pad Padmanam Jayastu Jaya Parikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Upad Padmanam Jayastu Sakala Vaishnava Pode Mor Namaskar Ite Kichu Aparadana Ukama Oya Chenoi Bena Prabhu Rajata Bhaktajan Bandana Kori Ami Savaro Charan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the Vaishnava devotees, servitors serving at the lotus feet of Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj, and Om Vishnupad Vishwarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, worldwide. To our friends and well-wishers, welcome to our Saturday morning, afternoon Goshti. We're engaging in Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītā, reading, discussion. So everyone is welcome, and we will start our program with Lavanya Sundari Didi leading us in some kirtan, and we shall start thereafter where we paused last week. So over to Lavanya Sundari.
Okay. We'll start on page 74. भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री गुरु चरण पद्म केवल भक्ति सन्मा बंदो मुई सावधान माते जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाई जहाँ चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ केरा जीवाना आहा प्रभु पर दया दे हमरे पाद छाया ए अधम लइलो चरणा ए अधम लइलो चरणा तुया पद लइलो चरणा আমি শরণিলাম হে আমি শরণিলাম হে অভয় শ্রীপদ পন্নে শরণিলাম অভয় শ্রীপদ পন্নে শরণিলাম হে আমার দয়া কর হে আমার দয়া কর হে পতিত পাবন শ্রী গুরুদেব দয়া কর হে অধম পতিতা জনে দয়া কর হে पतित पावन श्री गुरुदेव दया करो हे श्री चरण स्थान दिया दया करो हे श्री चरण सेवा दिया दया करो हे अधम पतिता जने दया करो हे गुरुदेव 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 दया गुरुदेव जया जया गुरुदेव 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 जया So now we will do I forget what page it's on. We're going to do page 146, 146. नारद मुनि बजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे नारद मुनि बजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे हरि नामय मणि उदिता होय भक्त गीत सामे नामय मणि उदित होय भक्त गीत सामे नारद मुनि बजाए वीणा रमण नामे बजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे आमी आधार बरिशे गान श्रवण जुगले गिया आमी आधार बरिशे घन श्रवण जुगल गिया भक्त जन सघने नाचे भोरिया पनहिया भक्त जन सघने नाचे भोरिया पनहिया नारद मुनि बजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे नारद बजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे माधुरी पुरा आसब पाशी माताए जगत जाने माधुरी पूरा असब पासी माताया जगत जाने के होबा कादे के होबा नाचे के हो माते मने माने के होबा नारद मुनि बजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे नारद मुनि बजाए वीणा पंचवदन नारद धोरी मेरा सघन रो बदन नारद धोरी मेरा सघन पंचवदन नारद धोरी मेरा सघन रो नारद धोरी मेरा सघन रो कमलासन नाचिया बोले बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो कमलासन नाचिया बोले बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो कमलासन नाचिया बोले बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो कमलासन हरि बोल नारद मुनि बजाए वीणा राधिका रमण नामे नारद नामे सहस्रानन परम सुखे हरि हरि बोली गाय सहस्रानन परम सुखे बोली गाय नाम प्रभावे मतिलो विश्व नाम रस सबे Namo Matilo Vishwa Namo Rasa Sabeta Shri Krishna Namo Rasa Nespuri Purayo Yamaraya Namo Rasa Nespuri Purayo Yamaraya Shri Krishna Namo Rasa Nespuri Purayo Yamaraya Namo Rasa Nespuri Purayo Yamaraya Sirupa Pade Jate Iha Bhakti Vinodada 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 Pade Jate Iha Bhakti Vinodada Narada Muni Bajaye Bina Radhika Ramana Name Narada Muni Bajaye Bina Narada Muni Bajaye Bina Radhika Ramana Name When the great soul Narada Muni plays his stringed veena, the holy name of Radhika Raman descends and immediately appears amidst the kirtan of the Lord's devotees.
Like a monsoon cloud, the holy name showers pure nectar into their ears. All the devotees, due to great ecstasy, enthusiastically dance to their heart's content.
All the inhabitants of the universe become maddened upon entering these intoxicating showers of divine sweetness. Some people cry, some dance, and others become fully intoxicated within their minds.
The five-faced Lord Shiva and Narada Muni are repeatedly making long scale of ecstasy joy, while Lord Brahma dances very ecstatically and exclaim, all you chant. Haribol, Haribol.
Haribol. Haribol.
You gotta say it.
In supreme happiness, the thousand-faced Anantashesh sings and calls out, Hari, Hari! By the influence of the transcendental vibration of that name, the whole universe becomes ecstatically maddened as everyone tastes and relishes the mellows of the holy name.
The holy name of Shri Krishna has fulfilled all my desires by thus manifesting on everyone's tongue. Bhakti Vinod, the humble servant of the Lord, therefore prays at the feet of Sri Rupa Goswāmī that the chanting of Harinam may always continue in this way. So I was thinking, well, I wasn't here for the Thursday celebration for Nrsimha Chaturdasi. So if we could just sing the Namaste Narasimha, that would be really, if we're all on board for that.
You can always sing that anytime.
Yay! Yay!
When the kids were little, whenever Guru Day wasn't feeling well, we would always we would all come in the temple and chant that every day for a while. And then he said, oh, I always got better. Die. Okay, I think that's page 253. Yeah, 250. Yeah, 253. I should start memorizing these page numbers. Right? One of these days. That too.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada dodaine. Prahlada dodaine. Jai. Are these yours, mother?
Oh.
Yes.
Very nice static kirtan. So I wonder if you could remind me what text were we on in chapter 6 in Bhagavad Gītā? We know in chapter 6.
Yes, let me just take a look. I believe we're on either 16. Oh, great souls. Wait, no.
20 I know for sure.
Oh, hold on. Wrong chapter.
Yeah, we completed
We're all the way after chapter 6.
6. Dhyāna-yoga.
These are all good questions.
That's okay.
Hold on, I got it. Let me just.
We can.
I think we're on 20 something.
I think we did 20, maybe 23.
I think so.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're on 24 now.
Let's start with 24 then.
Or controlled. Yeah, I think we read 20 through 23, so we're on 24 now. Does that logically make sense, Mother Prabhu? Okay.
So yeah, we'll just, let's chant 24 and we'll read.
Sankalpa prabhavana kamamsta tyaktaya sarvana asheshata manasasvedriya gramam vinayamya samantata.
To practice yoga, one must abandon all thoughts that give rise to desires, and using the mind, withdraw the senses from all material objects. So this is a prerequisite. Just like in a few verses before this, he said sense control and in specific celibacy. So in all ashrams it's possible, and it is supposed to be a prerequisite if someone is trying to get into this process of meditation. That has to be there. The previous, Śrila Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, I heard him say that, so he said it, so I can repeat it.
Yes.
So, because in celibacy, everything is for a reason. It's not just because one wants to be a celibate, so one is a celibate. So the semen is actually for procreation, but also there is another purpose. It can actually start flowing up. So celibacy is important. In any meditative process, celibacy will be a prerequisite. And This is the reason. So instead of the semen discharge, it starts to flow up. And if that starts to happen, then it opens the actual gates to getting into the subtle realms more and more. That is the fuel. So that's why celibacy is important. And because of that, here again, it is said that abandon all thoughts that give rise to desires. Because unless that happens, those desires will keep fueling it to all be haywire. So the lower functions will keep functioning, but then this other function won't happen. So that's why to withdraw the senses from the material objects so one can reach that stage, and then purifying the senses, and then again coming back, engaging in the service of the Lord. The purified senses coming back and engaging. So not to refrain for the sake of refraining and keeping it like that. They have to come back and find their proper use, but in service.
In service.
Not, again, so not for the self-centered, for the center-centered ego. So to get into that subtle and elevated realm, one has to get into this. Should we chant? Shanay Shanay
Uparamed Buddhaya Dhriti Grihitaya Atma Sangstam Manakrita Nakinchit Api Chintayet Kashchit Kinchit.
Nakaschit Api Chintayet. By studying the intelligence, one should gradually still the mind and focus it within the self alone. So all the noise has to come to almost a standstill because of the senses disengaging from the sense objects, and then getting to the point of actually isolating the intelligence and reaching that equanimity, and the mind is focused on the self. So then that stage of non-duality may be reached, maybe insight, when all of these other parameters have been taken care of. And for us, we don't have to go after each and everything to, okay, let me dial this down, let me dial this down, let me dial it. With our surrender and service and our chanting, so the holy name will bestow its mercy, and all these other parameters will take care of themselves. So long as I am sincere and I am surrendered and I am relying entirely on the holy name, then it will guide me. Non-different from Krishna. We are told in that. But for the meditation, the yogis who are doing, let's say, Kriya Yoga or any kind of Dhyāna-yoga, then they have to take care of all of these different parameters, and steady the intelligence, then focus the mind on the self. One of the first side effects of chanting the holy name is Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahādava Nindravapana, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Dhyāna-yoga. But this the first step is Cetodarpanamatma. Consciousness is clean, and then within the mirror of consciousness, one sees itself. Cetodarpanamatma. And by that, all liberation is achieved. Bhavamahādāvāgni nirvāpam. That relief feels like pleasure.
Yeah.
The suffering is so intense that I cannot feel it. But when I get that relief, then I will know, oh, that was such a bad situation I was in. And so because of that difference, then I am feeling later. So that touch of that non-duality, when one reaches, so that sukha, or that pleasure, is because of all the pain going away.
Yeah.
The entanglement with the reactionary world, these my quarters, is completely vanquished.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I feel. And that is one of the first side effects of Shuddhanam, when you're chanting the pure, like before even the sun rises, we have this.
And after the sunrise is dark.
Oh, then we get into different domain.
Maybe the Maya's got it.
Then we get into different domain with Harinam. But to get into the subtle and higher things, there is no other way. These are the things that we have to do. It's upon each individual. It's upon the. It cannot be forced on anyone.
No.
One has to awaken to this necessity by one's own discretion. Like, I have to be discerning enough, like I am going to do this for my benefit, primarily. Then one engages. Like Prahlad Mahārāj says, Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. Durashrayaye bahirarthamani. One of the verses that he praises and he gives is this is one of the verses. He says, people are taking shelter of the external energy. Nate vidu swartha gatim. Their highest own self-interest is the lotus feet of Vishnu. But people don't know what is best for them. So they surrender to the my quarters and they take shelter there. Because where he was studying with all the boys and everywhere with Chandanamak, the sons of Shukracharya, they were learning the sciences and everything else, all other disciplines of Maya. They weren't being taught Adhyatma, or knowledge of the self, or who the Lord is, the source of all consciousness. They weren't being taught any of that. So he says, Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. You don't realize what your best interest is, and you're indulging in all these different things of the senses because you don't know. Well, you have seen only, and you have acquired taste for this pleasure, so that's where you're trying to stay. So unless you disengage, how will you know higher pleasure? And then he says, Durashaya bahirarthamanina, and they have taken. And then he goes about the demoniac setup. He says, Andha yatha andhair upniya manas. So he says, as if the leaders of demoniac mentality, they themselves are blind to anything higher, and they're trying to lead the rest of the people who are blind. So in a way, it's a situation of
Blind leading the blind.
that's exactly what he says. Andha yatha andhair upniya manas. As if like they're all tied to a rope and they're pulling. So that's the situation.
Dancing on the edge of the cliff.
And thinking that I'm doing good. But they have not understood that they need to surrender to the Supreme Lord for their own highest benefit.
Yes.
That's key. And so all these processes, they may seem, well, they'll be hard, they'll be tough, or nearly impossible. But we have to look at what's in our best interest and engage. And again, depending on individual capacity, one may be able to do extreme, from some perspective, it may not be difficult for them, for others it may be, so it's an individual thing, and one decides, like the medium path, not to give too much trouble to oneself and not to overindulge, be in moderation, and take this, so then we can proceed happily. But there are no shortcuts. There's people who, I've had, they've said, well, why would you try to go towards the Supreme? It's really, it's such a path, it's like, who knows where you'll get. We have some shortcuts here, why don't you do these?
And I guarantee you'll have a lot of fun.
So I've always no, that kind of tantric thing is very bad, where they give you, they can have different geometric patterns and they can give it to you and they can give you some mantras, and through that then you can engage in certain aspects of material energy, not the Supreme. And then by that, then one can have these powers of manifestation, and one can think, and then one can will and one can have.
You can have siddhis that are misused.
Yeah, like anything, riches, or any kind of pleasures that one wants, one can have. So those are demoniac, because they are not in any way connecting to, they're not requiring surrender, they're not requiring you to give up anything, they're requiring you to indulge. So, but they have their shop and it does well, because people want quick results.
Sure they do.
In Bhagavad Gītā it says that there is people like that who want quick results, money, pleasure, fame, any of those things. They can go to material energy. She will give everything. She will give everything very easily. So these people who are in power, so the demoniac mentality, most of them, they have some kind of background. I mean, I've known a lot of them to have, at least in India, to have this tantra and other dark sciences.
Mm-hmm.
But to stay clear of all of that, practice satogun, this is the best. Because when I went to that person and they told me that, I'm like, if you know that he's the Supreme, then why don't you go to him? Why won't you tell me how to go to him? Why are you telling me a shortcut? That's what I want. I said, no, I want to do what is true. I don't want to have all of these other things that you're saying. I'm interested in the truth. So why don't you, and you yourself are practicing it with the knowledge that this is not the ultimate. If you were ignorant of any higher levels, then I would understand to some extent that you're just ignorant, but you're telling me this Krishna is the Supreme, and yet you're practicing this. This is very harmful. Why don't you give what you know? But they're like that, and so that was like in the age of the dinosaurs, like in the 90s, as far as I'm concerned. When I talked to her, she's like, Dad, you're a dinosaur. I'm like, okay, whatever. But this was in like, in the 97, 98, 99, something like that. And they were just like, yeah, you're young, you're this, why don't you have this, why don't you have this? I'm like, well, I don't want any of that.
And there was plenty of temptation.
Yeah, but thankfully I kind of navigated by some higher grace.
Your grandfather.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But there is, see, the thing is, what I want to see, there are people and there are these shortcuts available, so it can become really dangerous when you come across this people who are not practicing anything versus who are practicing these deviant methods and practices. They can have they can exert some sort of control, mind control over the unsuspecting. Because if I go, I'm not suspecting, but they have these powers, material powers, and they can exert that. So it becomes a like dicey, subtle game. So the best is you're surrendered, you're chanting Hari on.
Stay out of politics.
That is key. Otherwise it becomes an external shell.
Yes, absolutely.
Then it becomes this party versus that party, this candidate versus that candidate. Well, you have the candidacy, you have the power, you have everything. I want Harinam. I want to chant that. And if anyone's interested, we're happy to chant together. So, we did till, which one did we do?
We did until 25, so now 26. Oh, we just did 26?
Yeah.
27.
Yeah.
I thought we did.
You're losing track.
I thought we just finished 25. No, we didn't do 26.
No, we didn't do 26.
We did 25. It's because it cuts off and then it goes to the next page, so.
So which one is it?
26. Yato nischalati. Yato nischalati manaschañchalam astiram tatastato niyamyate atmaneva vashangnayet.
Do you want to read?
This is, the wavering and unsteady mind should be brought back from whatever mundane object it pursues and be held within the self alone.
So what is this saying is it's a practice. It's not something that you
keep bringing it back,
because it will your senses will tend to go and drift. Mind will go in some direction, usually towards this object senses, but then you have to,
and be easily achieved.
that's the natural function. And then what we are trying is to disengage, so that takes effort and commitment.
And high thinking.
Number 27. Prashantamanasam harinam
Yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham.
Brahmabhuta, everyone knows?
Yes.
Okay, 27. Ajit Prabhu, if you want to read, or
The wavering and those unsteady mind should be brought back from whatever mundane objects it pursues and held within the self alone.
the next one also.
The transcendental joy self-realization comes to the yogi, whose passions are quieted, who is playful-hearted, free from the defects of attachment, fear, and anger, and all situated in the spiritual nature.
So that transcendental joy of self-realization comes to yogi. When passions are quietened, when you rein them in. Now, this is only like till the half of the one half of the process. Till one half of the process is to disengage them from mundane, and then the rest, the other part is to engage them in the service.
There's a no and there's a yes.
So this high level is only the half part where we disengage them. So then there is joy. Till then, it's effort. Until we reach that point, it's an effort because it requires sacrifice. Right? Like what you like, you can't have. Naturally, someone is pulled towards, some object that they've been used to. But now, because of this practice, one has to sacrifice.
And immediately, the issue at hand delivers itself to you in the best condition. Here, please take me again. Come back, come back, come back.
So you have to apply that higher mind and intelligence.
But it's amazing how as soon as you come to this term, I'm going to take that position, the other position demands that you please accept this.
And then others, and then all the senses, the other senses come to that, and then the situation gets out of hand. But this is only the first half. All this, these things that are happening is only till that part till we completely disengage the senses from the objects materially, and then the other half is to engage the senses. How the positive begins. Remember, we said plane of dedication. The plane of dedication only happens when they're positively engaged. Then there is no question of controlling, that object. No. Then it will not get to that object because that has been replaced by that higher taste. So it will not be attractive. You remember that verse? Rasavarjam rasopyasya param dashtavanavarti. That lower taste will naturally go away by acquisition of a higher taste. So the sense that was going to naturally attracted to something which is mundane will not be attracted anymore. That is a much higher level than sense restraint. Does that make sense? Yes. That restraint is you're applying effort. There's sacrifice. There's like that tapas. You have to burn to rein in all of this. But once that is done, and then again engaged, then it's all sweet. Why? Because senses are not going to go and ravage on this plane. But that is an ideal. So it's not like, well, that's what's happening. The moment you try to observe like that, done. So you have to be on this plane of always, aspire for that. But we've been given this, so this knowledge, so we can share it.
I was waiting for a notification on Facebook and it never came up. We're not sharing on Facebook, we're sharing on YouTube. So I put a post on Facebook that I wanted to see.
She is senses indefinitely will ultimately lead to disaster. That is not what we do. Ours is positive engagement. Disengage from the lower taste, acquire the higher taste, and then engage the senses in that higher taste, which will happen automatically. Because we're like, we as conscious units, we're everything that we do for taste. And the moment we have some higher taste, to give up the lower taste is no problem. You don't have to think about it. Or there's no like sense control. Nothing like that. The senses are all working for it. The higher taste. Center-centered versus self-centered. Now you see how these are the mechanics of how that shift happens from self-centered to center-centered. So all of this is happening simultaneously as the false ego gets to the corrected ego. And all of the sensory paraphernalia is disengaging and then engaging. Now you get that the full picture of how it's happening? This is how it happens. This is what is being explained. Huh? It's new?
Yeah.
Oh. Is it working now? I'm sorry, Lappy.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry. I hope that the other mic was catching, because
I mean, my mic was also muted, but it's catching. It's just the sound wasn't as good.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Someone.
Nandakishore is.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah.
Oh, good boy.
Jai Nandakishore. Thank you, Nandakishore Prabhu. So, when we talked at that level of as Guru Mahārāj put it, that from self-centered ego to center-centered ego, Krishna-centered ego, then when that shift is happening, all our sensual, mental, intelligence paraphernalia is also undergoing a transformation. So this is explaining in detail how that transformation is happening. So then you build up that entire picture of, okay, this is how it happens and transfers in practice. So this is not theoretical. So wherever he's saying, you hold the senses, you do this, you do that, and introducing that thing of sacrifice, it's for a reason, it's for that higher purpose. It's not just simply, well, you restrain it and that's how you stay. So we're going to have to engage positively. So Swami Mahārāj used that word.
That's a good word for it, though. Perfect.
So then higher is not even dovetail. It'll run towards anywhere it sees, and it sees, oh, this is center-centered, and then you're engaged. So you don't need to artificially hold any yogic posture or position for that. That is Jnana Shunya Bhakti. Jnana Shunya Bhakti is you're not consciously trying to achieve or have any other motivation. All your senses, mind, everything is fully engaged in the service of Krishna, and it's an automatic flow. Nothing of this world will bother you or attract you. But his movement or his personal activities will attract. they will completely not just attract, they will grahita cheta. They will like literally grab your consciousness. Your entire being will be taken. Actually, this was said by. It's a kind of a confession that was said by Srila Shukadeva Goswāmī, who was born at the level of non-duality. He was Brahman realized from birth, and he's the speaker of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, where he confessed to all these, when he was going to speak, people from these high yogis, all kinds of distinguished personalities from all 14 worlds, they all gathered to listen to him. What is he going to say? And he was so detached from anything mundane that he didn't even feel the need to cover himself. And he said, he began with a confession. Literally, if you see in that sense that how it's been told to us, it's a confession. He says, he says that Parinishthitopi nairgunya uttam shloka leelaya grahita cheta rajarshi akyanam yadadhitavan. So he says, although since birth I am at the nirguna level, nothing of this plane attracts me. And they all knew that. It's not that something he was claiming, which people don't know, so I can claim, I'm going to claim this. They already knew that, so the first part of the statement everyone knew. They go, okay, we know that. But then he said, but Uttam Shloka Leela, his personal pastimes, the pastimes of Uttam Shlok, who's Krishna, his Leela has completely attracted me uncontrollably. Grahita Chetana. It has completely, my entire consciousness, it has grabbed. And so I'm helpless. And so I am explaining this to you. And then people are like, wait a minute, did he say that he's attracted to something? That's when everyone said, oh, you have our attention. What is that? We'd like to know. What kind of pastimes are those? And those are the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Krishna's pastimes. So Bhagavatam began with a confession that I am totally attracted. Not like I am completely aloof from everything. It's pretty radical, but that's how he presented.
Usually the renunciate is the same.
But he presented that.
I'm not a renunciate.
He says no longer. My senses are totally flowing toward that. And I am completely captured by that current. And I am sorry to say that. But, that's why I'm presenting it to you. So everyone goes, okay, now we got to listen to what is that? Then that is how he proceeded to speak the entire Bhagavatam. And that just came to me when we're talking sense control. So, but that's an extreme. Does that make sense? Now we're at
27.
We're going to do 27? Lavanya? Brahma Bhuta Kalmasha. This is we've done.
Yeah. So
Yunjanayam. Okay. Yunjanaevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmasha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham ashnate. before we get to Brahma Samsparsham, that is, it actually literally also means, I mean, it's given what it means, but it says the touch of divinity, first touch of divinity. So anyway, you want to read? 27.
28, right?
Yeah.
Thus absorbed in self-realization, the clean-hearted yogi easily attains the boundless ecstasy of contacting the divine. He realizes the super-soul. Such yoga is of a devotional nature.
So that Brahma Samsparsham, as it happens, that is an actual touch of divine. Let's do 29. Sarvabhutastham atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana.
His consciousness, united with the infinite, the master of yoga, sees the universal spirituality. He sees the Supreme Soul within all beings, and all beings within the Supreme.
So he sees, this is a level more developed than simply seeing the Supreme Essence everywhere, because it also sees the personality side. The personality of that all are in him, that he's indivisible. So now that has come into focus. So step by step, initial step is just joy, ecstasy, being, touch of the infinite. Then higher than that is this of the all-pervasive super soul. He's everywhere. Everyone is equal, worshipable. And higher than that, this is not just he's everywhere, but everything and everyone is in him, and he is one, an indivisible.
You got room?
And then verse 30 is just beautiful. Let's chant that. Yo mama pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sa cha me na pranashyati. Hari Priya Didi, would you need?
Okay. For one who sees me in everything and everything in me, I am never lost to him, and he is never lost to me.
So now it is direct. Now Krishna, if you read the verses before this, it was more like third person. Then you see the super soul and you see, but now here he's saying, that is me. And then you're uniting with, or you're connecting with me. This is where he says, and yo mama pashyati sarvatra, that personality that you see everywhere, and everything is in that personality. That is me. That is Krishna. So here he's saying that. And he's saying that kind of yogi who has developed that view or that vision, they have it of that all-pervasive aspect. They see that same all-pervading super soul consciousness as is with everyone, and at the same time seeing that unity, that they're all it's not all pervasive. It's it's not without personality. They see personality. Avasudeva sarvamiti. So he's saying, that is me. That is Krishna. And the thing here, when he starts to talk in first person, he's saying, now this has reached a level of perfection where they're never lost to me and I'm never lost to them. So there's no going back. There's no like, well, I need to restrain more and keep this, control or this tapas or no.
I'll get there by willpower.
Yeah. And then now sweetness is flowing back and forth. He's never lost to me. I'm never lost to him. That is Krishna here, declaring that yo mama pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati. So the actual real students of consciousness, if they forget the second half of personality, that personality is the other half of consciousness, then it's incomplete. Then you're not really understanding consciousness. You're not understanding subjectivity. So he says this very clearly here, which is very important. And then that level of yoga is not one-sided, or it's both ways. I'm never lost to him and he is never lost to me, means he has you in focus. And there's like unlimited little units, just insignificant. But he's saying, you reach that state, and I will have you in focus. So he can focus infinitely, and we can't even focus on one. We can't even focus on one, but he focuses on everyone. Okay, 31. Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam bhajatyekatamastita sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Huh? You lead.
Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam bhajatyekatamastita sarvatha satmanopi sayogi mai vartate. Jai. Whose turn? Ajit Prabhu.
Ready?
31.
The yogi who takes shelter of me and adores me in my non-different form as a super soul situated within the hearts of every living being abides in me in all circumstances.
So one understands that that is an aspect of Krishna, non-different, super soul, and connects thus. Okay, 32. Atma upamanyena? Okay. This is the one. Atma upamanyena sarvatra samam pashyati arjuna sukham va yadi va dukham sayogi paramo mata. Malaprabhu?
I consider the best of all yogis to be the one who knows the happiness and unhappiness of all beings as his own, who feels the heartbeat of others within his own.
So, one level is to know the feelings of others and to have empathy. But this is hyper empathy. to consider their unhappiness and happiness as one's own.
How do we really put that into practice? 'Cause
It comes. It's not something that we try and separately cultivate or develop. So he's telling this is a symptom. Some of these are concomitant symptoms that will come up through our practice, and the empathy will be amplified to the level of being hyper empathy. This is hyper empathy. This is not empathy. Empathy is like, yeah, I understand your problem, and I sympathize, and I'm with you. No, this is to feel others' pain, and that is the symptom of a true Vaishnava. You've heard that term, paradukha dukhi. That is that hyper empathy. Paradukha dukhi. Like someone else is unhappy, but they will be naturally feel that pain. So that's an actual symptom.
Yeah, I've heard it said to feel the heartbeat of another within your own. So there's no difference in the commonality of spiritual presence.
And this is at the level of non-duality though. Yeah. Non-duality meaning reaching that level of connection of the super soul, the super subjectivity, and being able to see that universally. That level of connection, this is a concomitant. Hyper-empathy. Paradukha dukhi.
It's a really hard one to understand.
I wish I wanted to achieve.
It's impossible to achieve. You know, because sometimes people are crazy and they're having, you know, it's like, that's your problem. You know, I wish you the best. I don't see a way to help you. I have to separate myself from your problem. It's the opposite of what's being said here.
Paradukha dukhi.
Yeah.
Of all beings as their that kind of yoga.
It's unfathomable. I mean, there's evil people. How do you harmonize this with that reality? It helps when you say this is a symptom. As you progress, this will come automatically. So that's something you can achieve.
Because really, you can't achieve it. How can you achieve something like that? So, but it just comes. That's the super soul. That's the level of the super soul, super subjective. Because once you see the indivisibility of that one, then all are part and parcel of then you're actually someone or some part who has found their little groove, and you're moving with the entire machine, the organic whole, and you're connected and completely adjusted with the environment. Ananda Didi ki jai. So that is that will come.
It's sort of like finding the commonality that we're all breathing air. You can start there. We all have the same requirement. We have to breathe. Now the same requirement would apply to we have to have Krishna make us animated to begin with. So at least you find one common thing, that we're breathing, all the same air. You have a different consciousness, I have a different consciousness. That's some place to start, to be able to find where are we the same. So we got to breathe. Your breathing is bad, my breathing is not so good. So who knows? Just a shot in the dark.
No, that's good. In meditation, this is about the inward journey. So this is about finding everything organic inside.
Yeah.
So the outside is not that important. Actually, this is a foreign thing for us. You know, anything material is actually foreign for us. And in Guru Maharaj's words, at some point, all of this we will find far away. He uses that term, like everything you will find far away, because you're connected within. And everything within is very near you, because you are of that fabric. You're not of this fabric. So it completely takes us inward. And to find, once we find peace, once we find that inward, then outward, everything will change. And we will come to see that there's nothing wrong with the environment. Everything is, it was me, in some quarter of my imagination thinking this is off, that is off, this is wrong, that is right. Everything's good. So this meditation, Dhyāna is going deep within. You can't find the super soul outside. You can keep running in various directions. You'll find them in the inward journey. If an outward journey helps the inward journey, then yes. If one does a pilgrimage, there are other things that you meet with divine personalities, all of that. But ultimately, that external journey should help one go deeper. Then it is good. It is to be accepted. It is to be embarked upon. Otherwise not. As we're trying to go inward. But anyway, like you said, it's not something which is for someone to, commonalities. So we can begin from there. I wasn't trying to, correct it or anything, but I was just trying to say that all of this is meant for us to go within deeper and deeper. But when we can't just completely say this to, let's say, a newcomer or someone who's entirely engrossed. So then how do we begin? And I think it's perfectly valid how you said, hey, let's start thinking. So others can relate a little bit, and then take them in the inward journey.
Some of the comments from the various thoughts that come to my mind is one of the thoughts I remember hearing was I can trust a good man and I can trust a bad man if I can trust myself.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's it.
There you can find some sort of approach to be able to embrace. Because we take the evil out of him because we're putting it in his position. We're keeping our position as a dedicated devotee, going in that direction.
You are very blessed, Madhav Prabhu, and we're very happy to have your association. Truly.
Thank you. I wanted to, but thank you.
One thing I learned from him was he got hit so hard by some bicycle person. He flew a little distance and then chipped like his hip bone.
With a lot of pain.
A lot of pain, and the other guy stopped and offered all kinds of things, and he said, "I'm sorry, this and that, let me take you to the doctor." And this, he said, "I forgive you."
Well, that's because immediately I realized I had some debt. Otherwise, this guy isn't going to choose me to knock me down. I figured I'd clear the books.
To err is human, but to forgive is divine. So, Arjuna, watch. Yoyam yogastvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthiti nistiram chanchalam hi mana krishna pramathi balavadradam tasyaham nigraham manye vayuriva sudushkaram. Okay, these are, now Sri Arjuna is asking, who's going to read? Okay, O Madhusudana, Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, because of the fickle nature of the mind, I cannot conceive how one can maintain the equilibrium in yoga that you have described. Yeah, well, that was perfect that I need to ask that.
Appreciate the question.
Please, since you're, giving all these other disclosures, can you please tell me about this? Okay, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Asamshayam. Oh, 34. Oh Krishna, the mind is fickle, turbulent, obstinate, and very powerful. I consider controlling it to be more difficult than controlling the wind.
I forgot to read 34.
Okay, let's read 34. Asanya atmana yoga.
No, you read it. I was just making a joke. You read it. I was just making a joke.
Well,
you left it. You forgot it.
huh? So the one thing is, I consider controlling it to be more difficult than controlling the wind. One is apparent, like the meaning, but the other is technical, because he can actually control the wind. He can actually control the wind.
Arjuna.
He has elemental control. Yeah, because he has these different weapons.
Yes, I know.
So it's easy for him to control the wind. But he can't control the mind because it's subtle. It's subtler than the wind. So that's the technical reason why he's saying that. He goes, oh, it's easy for me to control wind. Fire, sure. But mind? I don't know how to control it.
Fickle, turbulent, obstinate, very powerful. Choice words.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Asamsayam mahabaho manodvanigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grahyate asanyatat manayogo dushprapiti me mati vasyat manatu yatata shokyo vaptum apayata. Okay, who's going to read? Ananda Didi?
At 35?
Yes, 35 and 36.
The Supreme Lord said, O heroic Arjuna, undoubtedly, the mind is fickle and extremely difficult to control. However, O son of Kunti, it is possible by practice and detachment.
So by practice, like abhyasing, so the abhyas means practice. So we have to, in our sadhana, that's what we do, we practice. We will make mistake once, twice, thrice, and then again. So every time we try and actually take corrective measure, we learn and we go deeper. So that mistake is actually taking us deeper. So he's saying, abhyas, you have to practice. It's not like, well, I can't do it. Well, Arjuna said that, I can't do it. But then what was Krishna's response? He says, keep trying. He didn't say, well, if you can't, just that's it. No problem.
Gurudev also said trying mood.
Trying mood.
Yeah. The Gurudev said try, yeah. No, they know it's very good.
Yeah.
Try harder.
That's why we pray.
By practice and detachment, I consider this 36. Do you have a book?
No.
You can grab one. We're on chapter 6, verse 39.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
37? No?
No, 36.
36.
36.
We're keeping you on.
Well, I was seeing the 6 like.
Oh, yeah, because it sounds good.
Good try.
No, he's being for serious.
Really?
Because in Sanskrit it's upside down.
Fickle, obstinate.
It's this thing. It's 37. Yeah, we're on 37.
36?
37.
37.
No, 36.
We did 36. I think.
We are on Kaschin no hai vibhrastas.
Someone needs to read 36. We chanted it, I think.
We chanted 36, but we haven't read it.
Okay, 36. Okay, so 36. Someone needs to read then.
I consider that yoga is difficult to obtain for the person who is unrestrained mind. But one who strives to refrain the mind by the appropriate practice can succeed in yoga.
Very important.
Can succeed.
But who strives? So, not the result, the effort is prime. To never give up. It's always work in progress. But if I give up, that's a problem. Or I can't do it, that's a problem. But it's saying you engage, put in effort. Then you can. The result is, remember, it's not in our hands. We can only try or effort. Remember that verse? That applies here too. I can only put in my effort. The fruit is not in my hands, is in my hands. That'll come from the side of the infinite. When he will adjust and he will, from his end, he will see. Yeah. Then at the appropriate juncture, then it'll be given. So to engage in mind control with the intent or with the understanding that I will be able to do it is actually wrong. One should not think of whether I will be able to do it or will not be able to do it, because that is not in our hands. I am being asked to engage, to try. That is what I will do. Does that make sense, Didi? Otherwise, to simply say, I can't control, it's impossible. Arjuna said that. But he said, no, you try. Please try. With continuous practice, it can be done. Oh, this is very nice, 37. Kaschino bhaya vibhrashtas chinna brahma. Oh, sorry. Arjuna vacha. That is
37.
I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. Ayati Shraddhayo Veto. Okay. Arjuna Vacha Ayati Shraddhayo Veto Yoga Chalita Manasa Aprapa Yoga Samasiddhim Kamagatim Krishna Gacchati. Can we read the next one also? Kaschinno bhaya vibrastas chinna brahmeva nashyati apratishto mahabaho mumudho brahmanapati. Okay. Whose turn?
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of a person who, due to his faith in the scriptures, engages in yoga practice, but lacking perseverance, proper practice, and abnegation, is distracted by mundane inclinations and fails to succeed in yoga practice?
38. Oh. Yes, please, Didi. Sorry.
Almighty Hero, O Krishna, having deviated from the yoga of attaining the absolute, shelterless, and fallen from the paths of both action and meditation, is not such a person utterly lost, like a scattered cloud?
Fear of failure. One-on-one. Fear of failure. Like, he sees it an impossible task, like you're asking me to do this, and he's seeing, well, in this lifetime, there's no guarantee, like I'll make it through. So what if I fail? Will I be just like a scattered cloud? Like, so I will lose all my material or sensual abilities and everything that I have amassed because of this pursuit, and I'm not being able to complete this pursuit also. So where do I stand? Okay.
Bankrupt.
Yeah, success. What is my what is the markers or my marker for success here? I think that's a fair question.
The lacking perseverance seems to be pivotal.
Okay, so 39 we have to chant. Etan me samshayam Krishna chetum arhasya sheshata tadanya samshasyasya chetana upagattate.
O Krishna, no one but you can dispel this doubt of mine. Please mercifully slash it at the root.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Huh?
I like those kind of prayers.
Slash
You
it.
take over.
And again,
I don't know what I'm
root,
doing.
at the root.
Yeah.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Parthanaivehanāmutra vināshastasya vidyate nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tat gacchati. This verse is actually Guru Maharaj's, one of his favorites, Param Guru Maharaj. He used to couple this up with that verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Tatte nukampam susamikṣamana Bunjane vatma kratam vipakam Hritvak vapurvir vidadhan namaste jivete yo mukti pade sadaya bhag. These two verses, he says, for the real practitioner who is sincere, these two verses are of prime importance. Tatte nukampam is his internal feeling as he goes about that he's saying that all the reverses or the negatives in his perception, the practitioner's perception, anything that comes to him is actually his own doing, is a reaction of his own doing. It has nothing to do with the all-good God. When he says Bunjan evatma kratam vipakam, so all of that is coming to me, which is undesirable, is of my own doing. Those are all reactions of my current past activities, and they're coming to me. And happily, I will suffer through that. And at the same time, effort will be focused on Hrit Vak Vapurvir Vidadhan Namaste. With heart, body, speech, essentially everything at my disposal, Vapurvir Vidadhan Namaste, in his service. Like this, when one goes, for them is his anukampa. They are the actual receivers of grace. They become the real receivers of grace. Jivete yo mukti pade sadaya bhag. And it becomes their birthright. I'm paraphrasing, these are not exact words, but it becomes his birthright. Muktipad. Sadaya bhag. They are the true receivers of grace. Like that eligibility thing that you were saying, this is the eligibility, if there is any.
Right.
To actually know that I'm totally ineligible. And this verse, he says, is from Krishna's side. Like, you don't worry because I am there. Krishna is saying, I am there. For the one who is engaging despite knowing their shortcomings, despite knowing all the negatives of what is within them, but they're still continuing to strive. You know, actually, in subjectivity, that is chastity. Strict adherence to truth is chastity. That is the highest moral. Under all circumstances, you only adhere to the truth proper. So when he says chastity, that's what it means. To the extreme. So these two verses, one from Bhagavatam and here, it says, Naveha means either in this life or the next you will never be ruined. And this word tat is actually like, oh dear one, or saying, my dear friend to Arjuna, addressing him like that. You don't worry, because Krishna is telling Arjuna, I am always there. You may forget your current life in your next life, but I will be there with you, and I will know every detail. That is his guarantee to Arjuna. That's why he says, Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgati. Durgati means ruination. That you will neither have this nor have that because you're a failure here and end of life, so you're nowhere. He goes, no, I will preserve that. Did we read that?
No.
Okay, sorry. So
4. The Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, son of the Kunti, there is no loss for the unsuccessful yoga practitioner, as he is not denied the happiness of the heavenly plane in this world, nor is he denied the chance of the fortune to see the supersoul in the transcendental realm. This is so, O dear one, because a person who performs virtuous action never suffers an ill fate.
So, oh dear one, tat, because a person who performs virtuous actions never suffers an ill fate. So that's a guarantee from Krishna, that you don't worry about the result. You just engage in this, in that inward journey, and he's saying that will be preserved. In the next verse we'll see how. So should we chant 41? Prapya punna kritam lokan Shitva shashati sama Shuchinam Srimatam gehe Yogo bhrashto vijayate. After residing for many years in all those heavenly planes that are attainable by the performers of great sacrifices, such as the Ashramedh, the unsuccessful yoga practitioner takes birth in the home of honorable, prosperous persons, given to pure and honest practices. So, such souls who have endeavored in the past, then they will, and have not finished, then they will take birth in families of those who are, where they can start from where they finished.
Get the wind at their back.
Mm-hmm. He's always there. And then we can do 42. Atha yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam etadhi dhullabhataram lok yadidrisham idrisham. में से एतद्धि दुर्लभतरम लोके जन्म यदीदृशम. Okay, whose turn?
Wrong.
Which one?
42.
Sure, thanks. Or he takes birth in the home or family of teachers of yoga who are dedicated to yoga practice. Such a birth is more rarely attained in this world. Thank you.
43. तत्रतं बुद्धि संयोगं लभते पौरव दैहिकं यत्ते च ततो भूय संसिद्धौ कुरुनन्दना.
Also Nakura, he warns this situation. The wisdom you have obtained in his previous life is received and hid again. Strive for success.
Revive.
Life is rebirth.
Revive.
So they will start from where they stopped, and as they're going through all of that they had learned in the previous thing, it will come back to them.
Lay your treasures in heaven
Like
where they will
Jadbharat.
not corrupt.
Like Jadbharat, he somehow he fell down, he became deer. But he remembered, so my Lord's grace.
Yes.
We see that sometimes too. Well, not necessarily this, but so many people come through the ashram, and sometimes it's like they hit the ground running, and they're just like a sponge and just soar. And then some slower pace, but it's so obvious they're picking up from some previous birth. Just like the right connections happened, and then boom.
Like Ananda Krishna. He's a good example.
Yes.
He's so fresh and so young and immediately bloomed, full bloom.
Yeah.
Tyagi Mahārāj also. When he came, he was
The observation comes from a realized person.
Hare Krishna.
So what we are seeing is good bookkeeping. Everything is accounted for and carried over. Karmic bookkeeping.
Okay, verse 44. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate havashopi yasa jigyasarapi yogasya shabda brahma tivartate. 44.
Despite himself, he is carried by the yoga practice of his previous life. In his search, he surpasses the primitive rituals of the Vedas.
Despite himself.
Despite himself.
In spite of himself, that's perfect.
He's carried by the yoga practice of his previous life and surpasses the fruitive rituals of the Vedas. So Vedas, although they may be studying the Vedas, but the Vedas are dealing ultimately with the three modes of nature, which means scientific exploitation to minimize the reaction. I'll be criticized by a lot of people, but that's what it means. Scientific exploitation. How can I minimize the reaction so I can maximize the enjoyment.
What's in it for me?
And for this reason, the literary incarnation of Krishna, Srila Vedavyas, Krishna Dvapayana Vedavyas actually got like chastised heavily by his spiritual master. Like heavily. And he's the literary incarnation. He was told like, what have you done? He's like, I did the Vedas. It was like, no, that's the biggest disservice. So he had to like get back to the drawing board, like just he had to assimilate and just again get into that. So that's the school that we're in.
We heard that described that Vedavyas gave kind of education for sick people, but not for people that were
Healthy. So what about the healthy people? He says you've told them all of these things, but then you really haven't told them, you've told them moksha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but then where is the positive?
Right.
Where is service? Where is... Then he got heavily chastised. Jugupsitam dharma krate nushasata. He says, those were his words. He said, what have you done? Jugupsitam dharma krate. And a thunderbolt ran through him. It's like, oh, everything. And he was of the stature who could give remote viewing to Sanjay and Dhritarashtra and do all kinds of things. I mean, him personally being the literary incarnation of Krishna. And him being like...
All for our sake.
Hare Krishna. And he said, well, and so now they've added to that, saying that, and now the situation is that people are going to listen to you, since you're such an authority. And if someone else comes about telling, well, there is a level above, they won't take it, because you're the authority. So not just you have done them a disservice, now who's going to correct it? So it was like, one layer more.
Quagmire.
Like, what this is done, like the Vedas, and he rejected, but then you have to correct it. We can actually finish this. There's only a few verses here. Which one are we at?
We're at 45. So next, 45.
Okay, 45.
We can just do 45 through 47.
Yeah, let's just chant. Pratnada yatamanasatu yogi samshuddha kilvishay anek janma samsiddhas tato yati param gatim tapasvi bhayo dhiko yogi janmi bhayo pi mato dhika karmi bhayaschadhiko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana Shraddhavana bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mata iti Sri Mahārāte Satsāśrayam Samhitayam Vayasikyam Bhishma Parvani Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītā Supnijutsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Dhyāna-yoga Nama Shastodhyāyah. Okay.
Who's doing 45? Striving harder than before, the yogi's consciousness is cleansed of all worldly attachment, and he achieves the fruit of many lifetimes of yoga practice. He attains the supreme destination.
The yogi is superior to persons engaged in service austerities such as Chandrayana vow, superior to the person of knowledge who worships Brahman, and superior to the person of action. Know this to be my conclusion. Therefore, O Arjuna, be a yogi.
The best of all journeys is the devotee who has full faith in the authoritative, pure devotional scriptures, and who adores me with all his heart, hearing and singing my divine glories, rendering all services unto me. This is my opinion.
This is just his opinion.
Just an opinion.
Mm-hmm. So in a general way, it gives the hierarchy from all the jnanis, karmis, yogis, and then among the yogis, this is 47th, he ties it in that now he brings in devotion, shraddhavan, shraddha, bhajate, bhajan, also indicates service. Yo ma means to him, to Krishna, singing divine glories, rendering all service unto me. This is my opinion. If you remember now, this is again in Bhagavatam, there is a verse that actually takes this thread further. And that goes like, Avasmriti Krishna Padaravindayo Kshinoti Abhadrani Chasham Tanoti Sattasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim Jnanam Cha Vijnana Viraga Yuktam. And that verse was commented on, explained by Param Guru Mahārāj so many times. Again, it was one of his favorite verses. I can explain it, but I'd rather, if you permit, I'd just like to read you some key places that I have it drawn from. Where is it? Right here. I just want to so I did like a search. So it fetched me like 22 different places where this verse has been. Yeah, but I'm using only like 3. So just to give you what this means, this is Param Guru Mahārāj. Here it is said, Avasmriti Krishna Padaravindayo. Do not forget the divine lotus feet of Krishna, because by the continuous remembrance of Krishna, all the undesirable things, the dirty things within you will have to leave. Kshinoti abhadrani. Without Krishna consciousness, without consciousness of divinity, all mundane things are like dirt. That dirt should be removed. It should be destroyed by the continuance of Krishna consciousness. That remembrance cleans out all the dirt and it extends to our welfare, real welfare. Cha sham tanoti. And tanoti actually means literally to appear, to manifest. It produces from within real goodness. Sattasya shuddhim. When the alloy is eliminated from your ego, from your present self-conception, then your whole existence is purified. Your self-conception is false ego. It is full of alloy.
And that will be destroyed by your continued God consciousness. As your existence is purified, gradually you will find the Lord, Paramatma, within yourself. Paramatma Bhaktim. You will be able to understand who you are, Jivatma, and who is supporting you from above, Paramatma. Then, Gyan and Vigyan. You will find a special type of God conception that will show you both the Lord and His potency, the different potencies and the owner of those potencies. Viraga Yuktam, you will feel the effect of this twofold, both non-attraction and the attraction to the mundane world, and properly adjusted attraction towards the truth. You will feel such development within you. Thank you, Devi. Did you catch that last part? Virag Yuktam. You will feel the effect of this twofold. Both non-attraction to the mundane world. So Virag has two things. One is the non-attraction to the mundane world, and the other side is the properly adjusted attraction toward the truth. You will feel such development within you. That is the true meaning of Virag. Now this is the second, a slightly different angle that Guru Mahārāj is giving. This is Guru Mahārāj. In a general way, the path of good advancement is given here. And then Sattasya Shuddham, your understanding in its progress will have its undesirable portion eliminated. Your conception will become more clear, clearer and clearer. With that clarity, undesirable things from your conception will gradually vanish. And your progress will lead you to the perfect conception. Sattasya Shuddham. In the beginning, that Sattva, truth, is what you come to understand in an approximate way to be eternal or Satchidananda, eternal truth, consciousness and bliss. But there will be gradual development in your understanding. It will become more clear and more pure. So the development towards Krishna consciousness is such. First, a mass of light. Then the figure. Then the potency. Then the Leela pastimes with the potency. In this way, your approach will be closer and closer. And many things, the closest, the minutest things will come to your view. The minutest part also, the most detailed things, the whole Chidvilas, the spiritual variegatedness of the conscious plane will be very close to you. You will be led higher and higher, closer to the specified, differentiated view of that plane. In this way, there is progressive development. Progress is bhakti, devotion. The conception of theism follows these lines. It is continual existence under the holy protection of the divine feet of Krishna. To maintain one's life of continuous engagement with all sorts of activities while thinking, the guide is upon my head. The divine feet of Krishna are upon my head. With this attitude, we can easily remove what is foreign within us in no time at all. The continual remembrance of Krishna's lotus feet, of Krishna's connection, will in no time disperse all the difficulties along the way, as well as all meanness and all that is not dignified. Our Srila Guru Mahārāj said, the Gaudiya Mat stands for the dignity of the human race. We are to understand that slavery to Krishna is a most dignified position. And everything against that ideal is meanness. The only standard of life for a gentleman is to understand and accept the position of subordination to the absolute truth, to admit what is proper and real, and on that basis make one's life advanced, is not meanness. To understand one's proper position and to understand one's proper duty and discharge it, that is a gentleman's life. To accept what is truth. What is considered to be meanness will be removed very soon. And what is really our welfare and beneficial to us, that will increase. You are at present in an adulterated conception of your own life. The mind, intelligence, and exploiting energies of different kinds are all adulteration. So from your existence will be eliminated all kinds of adulteration. It will be purified and your real self will come out in its pristine glory. And you will find you have a happy devotional connection with the super soul, the super knowledge. You will come across knowledge proper, a clear, personal type of knowledge with its paraphernalia and systematic existence. Whatever you are attracted to at present in this mundane plane will be transferred. Affection proper will be discovered. At present, your affection, attraction, and love are misdirected, but they will find their proper place and position. The special characteristic is that you will have a real place and position where these faculties of affection and attraction will find a special support, a proper place to which they will be directed. This is devotion. Avismriti Krishna Padarvindayo. Jai. Om Vishnu Pad Śrīla Bhaktī Rakshak Srīdhar Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. So, Jai Om Vishnu Pad Śrīla Bhaktī Sundar Govinda Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. Jai Om Vishwarenya Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gokanga Gandharvika Giridhari Ji ki jai. And Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. And Nittai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Pardon my offenses.
Not a very good example.
In person.